Here's a fun little quilt to make in honor of St. Patrick's Day. Fusible applique is used throughout, so there's very little sewing involved. This quilt is the perfect size to fit the seasonal sampler frame. To get started, download these free patterns in the supply list. You'll find the links below. 100% cotton fabric works best for this project. Make sure you purchase a lightweight, double-sided fusible with the directions attached. For the batting, I like to use the brand Warm and Natural, but any batting will do. Use your pattern as a guide for the cutting sizes for the background pieces. Make sure all your fabric has been pressed before cutting. First, cut out 3 6.5-inch squares for your shamrocks. Here's the fusible. One side is smooth and the other side is rough with the adhesive. Place the smooth side up and trace your pattern. When your pattern's been traced, you want to turn over your fabric and press it to the back, following the manufacturer's instructions. Cut out the shapes and then peel off the paper. I like to use a pin to get that started. Press your background square into force and then use those pressing lines to line up your shamrock. Then press to your background fabric. These fusibles will stay in place if you don't wash your project. I like to stitch around the edges with a straight stitch just to ensure that this won't lift up, but it's not necessary. Refer to this handout for measurements. If you take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, cut off 1 inch on the bottom, you'll have the top part of the hat. Now, I like my hat to be a little bit taller at the top and shorter at the bottom. So if you measure over about 1/2 inch on each side, cut those strips off, you'll have a top hat like this. Trace your pattern on the fusible. To save fusible product and to get rid of this extra bulk in the middle, I like to cut this section out before I press. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need a little extra all the way around. So you see, I've pressed this to my back and I've eliminated all that messy adhesive here. All I need is a strip of adhesive around the edge in order to press it to the background fabric. I can use the leftovers to draw out this black ribbon, and the other section I can use to trace this buckle pattern. The last piece of fusible that needs to be marked is for the brim of the hat, which is 2 inches by 12 inches. After all your pieces have been cut, tear off the paper. You might have to trim this ribbon a little if you made the bottom of the hat shorter. Fold your background fabric and then press the halfway marks. Take your hat fabric, fold it in half, and finger press that halfway spot. Line up all those halfway marks. You'll want to come down between 2 and 3 inches. Take your brim, fold it in half, and pinch. Line up the halfway marks. I like to cover just a little bit of this edge. Place the ribbon and buckle in place and press. After pressing, you can add straight stitching around the edges, but it's not necessary. Lay out your shamrocks. Put right sides together and stitch a 1/4 inch seam. After stitching, press the seams, put right sides together, pin, stitch, and then press. I think I like it better being all green, so I stitched in place and then pressed. Take this bottom piece, put right sides together, pin and stitch. Layer the top over the batting. Quilt to hold the layers together. Cut your backing the same size as the top. For extra luck, add a shamrock on the back. I've placed it here in order to hide this cut that I made for turning. Put right sides together, pin, and stitch a 1/4 inch around the edge. Clip the corners, and then turn inside out. Press the shamrock in place. Now you're ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for visiting learnhowtoquilt.com. If you'd like to learn about a different applique method, check out our video on hand sewing shamrocks using the needle turn technique. Please share our videos with your friends. Thanks.